And Derek,
really well
job
done by Derek.
There. Oh, what a big snipe!
And Russo gets backed out of the cut.
No way! No way! No way!
Alright, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing today on this fantastic Saturday morning slash afternoon slash evening, depending on where you live? We are here with the first match of the weekend, Forgotten Legends versus Infinite, a battle of three, actually a 2-3-1 teams going at it to try to secure a pretty solidified second seed unless UC lose their match today. Maybe they could tie for first, so we'll see what happens. We'll look at that in a second, though. I am Jaggy, and I'm joined by Zexous.
Hello. Pretty exciting match we got going on. I haven't really seen too much from these teams for the run of this season of MKPS, so interested to see how these two teams are going to meet, with them having the exact same record at the moment. So going to be interesting to see all across the board how these two teams can compete with each other and see how it's all going to go come the end of this with yeah, Forgotten Legends and I both sharing a 3-1 record across the board, so I'm expecting this one to be close, right down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, I also think this will be close due to the fact that Forgotten Legends kind of had a shock loss last week, and maybe it could have been a one-off, but the consensus first seed team across the entire community, the community thought that they would get first pretty comfortably, but they ended up suffering a pretty upset shock defeat to Apocalypse Ruby last week, with Alex ITA scoring 114, but unfortunately not getting too much support behind him. And Apocalypse Ruby, with that win, finally broke their losing streak and are now 1-3. So this division is not super close on paper, but with that victory, it kind of opened up the floodgates a little bit, if you will. And last time Infinite played, it was a fairly comfortable victory against Insane, who have also been underperforming for their standards so far this season. And, you know, it's going to be a good one. I don't really have too much of a, a prediction as of yet. We'll take a look at the lineups, we'll go over them, and then maybe we'll have a little bit more of an answer on that regard. So, with Forgotten Legends, we have Alex ITA, Kazam, Miracle, Knight. I have Kazam twice on there. So Kazam is going to be bagging, and it's going to be Zoen as the runner. So it'll be Alex, Miracle, Knight, Zoen, and Kazam bagging. So what do you think about this lineup?
It's honestly okay. So a little bit that we didn't see with the Apocalypse Ruby table is we didn't see Zoen playing against in that match, with him playing in this match going against IF1. So I'm interested to see if there's going to be a shift. Maybe if they had Zoen in that last match, the result would have been a little bit different. Not entirely sure, but I think he's going to fit in really nicely here. I think Zoen he's a really strong runner in all departments, coming from running and, you know, what he can do in the middle of the pack, and even, you know, when he needs to be the guy to catch up. I definitely think he's going to fit the bill, and I think he's going to be able to hopefully bring the Forgotten Legends team together a bit more and really solidify what they need to do to be able to capture this week's win.
For sure. And when I look at this lineup, I do see a little bit of a chink in their armor. I know that... Sorry, I'm eating a croissant. So, they're very good team play-wise, very good chemistry-wise, and very strong in the running. I mean, Alex at ITA is not a runner to be scoffed at. Zoen is in that category as well. But I'd say that Miracle and Knight are two players that are good on their day, but they're a little bit more spotty, a little bit more inconsistent. So that certainly could have played a factor in their last match against Apocalypse Ruby. So if they can work out those kinks in the running department, then I don't think that the players such as Alex ITA and Zoen are going to fall too far behind, because they're a little bit more on the consistent side. So we'll see what happens there. Kazam as a bagger is very solid. He has a lot of experience, and he is going to be going up against Serena in the bagging department, who's also an experienced bagger in his own right. So what do you think about that particular bagging affair?
This is really going to be an interesting matchup because I have, unlike Kazam, I have played with Serena. I've known Serena for quite a few years now, and Serena has really just been able to solidify himself as a really strong bagger. And when you've seen it firsthand, it's going to be really, like, I almost want to see Serena kind of pull ahead. I almost kind of expect him to have a little bit of the edge from what I'd give because of, you know, how much he's been doing it, you know, practicing. I know that Kazam has a lot of experience on his own, under his own belt, but I definitely think that Serena is just all in all a great bagger, and honestly is still working his way as one of the top baggers, getting there. But as far as like how IS runners are, you know, it's pretty set in stone. Seeing Barry, LT, Snow. I haven't seen too much of Zay, so I'm not sure what Zay is going to bring to the table. But I'm all ears, and all in all, I think both these teams are going to be pretty neck and neck throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say the key player for Infinite would have to, I mean, the one that sticks out really, I would have to say Barry. And if we look at the standings once again, he is actually their second leading point scorer, with Kenzo being the first. But Barry, I gave Barry a little bit of slack in previous seasons, whether it was Elite League Season 3 or whatever, for being slightly inconsistent, but I feel like he has improved as a player as of late. And, you know, he's not just a person with a lot of potential in the front. He is someone who keeps his top spots a little bit better now. Also a decent playmaker. So I'd say he's going to be someone to look at here. Also, LT. You can never look at LT. I'm not going to go as far as to say that he's underrated anymore, because a lot more people have been looking at him as of late. But LT in the summer split and also the spring split too, playing for T7, and as well as in the World Cup, he kind of, you know, he was very underlooked, and he impressed a lot of people in those two particular tournaments. LT starting off this season a little bit slow though, with a 27.6 average, but he is also going to be a player to look at here. Never underestimate the power of LT. Snow, very much improved across the course of the 2020 to 2021 season. So expect him to put up some points. And Zay, like you said, I actually don't know too much about him either, but I think this Infinite lineup is actually very, very solid overall across the board. So we'll see how they fare against Forgotten Legends.
Definitely, and I'm definitely interested to see how this is going to go. Obviously, you know, LT, I've played with him for a little bit too. He's very solid too, so I expect him to do what he does best. He's very good when he can get in front of the pack, but he can be a little bit shoddy towards that mid pack play. So I'm interested to see if he's improved with that over the time that I haven't really seen too much of him. But if I know LT, his game plan is get to the front and do everything he can to stay there. And if that's where he's most comfortable, and that's where he's going to be the best he can be. So if he can continuously be that front presence that he wants to be, he should have no problem doing what he wants to do in this room.
Certainly. And, you know, I'm kind of dumbfounded right now. As for a particular prediction, you know, a lot of the times even if I have a little bit of doubt, I am able to pick a team with somewhat utmost confidence. But right now, I'm kind of dumbfounded. I can't really think of who's going to win this one, because I feel like this is going to be very close throughout. And in the end, I'm just going to have to say, as if I were to have a gun pointed to my head, I'm going to say Forgotten Legends by 14.
I'm definitely on a little bit of the same path as you. I'm also going to say Forgotten Legends with around the same. I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit more low 20s for FGT, but I definitely think that they're going to pull a little bit ahead, because I think their chemistry is going to be a little bit stronger than what IF has. So,
you know, please don't yell at me for this, but I'm actually going to shift my prediction. Because as soon as I said my prediction, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Okay. You know what? I don't think we can overlook the bagging battle here. And I think in the beginning I said this bagging battle could be close, but I just realized that Kazam throughout the season, actually I don't know if he's been bagging for the most. I know he was supposed to start as a runner. Yeah, he has a 28.7 average on the indiv chart, so that indicates that most of his matches that he's played has been as a runner. So I do think that could play a factor in the bagging battle. On paper, I think it's fairly even, but I think Serena, you know, he's more of a tried and true bagger for Infinite, and I do think that could make the difference. So instead of a plus 14 for FGT, I'm actually going to shift it to Infinite.
Still like plus 14 for
IF.
IF.
It's going to be close, though. I still think it's going to be close throughout the entire match, and I think this is certainly going to be a very fun match to watch. And that being said, I think both teams are ready with 10 in room. Grab your popcorn, folks. This is going to be a good one.
And with that, yeah. And we're going to have to reset the race and scores on this bad boy. But with that we can definitely get this going.
Who do you think is an MVP, actually? That's another good question.
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to give the MVP to Miracle. I think he's gonna have the one of those pop-offs. I think he's gonna just come up from behind and just start getting into his groove. And I think this is gonna be the match where he does it. So I'm gonna go a 118 for Miracle.
Okay.
This
I am actually going to be on the same boat in regards to the team. I do think it's going to be someone from Forgotten Legends, but I think it's actually going to be Alex ITA. I think he's going to continue that momentum from last performance against Apocalypse Ruby, and I think he will show the world that he is not one to be messed with. I'm going to say Alex ITA with 116. If I can read, yeah, it's going to be Maple Treeway. Sucredi, that's sweet, I think. Sweet Treeway. I think you know a little bit more French, don't you?
Sure.
Sure. Is that a yes?
I mean, I may be Canadian. My Francais is very limited to say the least, but yeah, that's Maple Treeway.
All right. I mean, we do have Barry's POV in case we're in any doubt, so it's gonna be coming out with Sherbetland here to start off with. Ladies and gentlemen, be prepared, be ready, as this is going to be an absolute cracker. Infinite versus Forgotten Legends. We are underway with Barry starting off. A little bit of a lag shield there from whoever was hosting. That was Zoan. So let's see if Barry's going to be able to keep up here. He does have a little bit of Aussie lag too, so it may benefit him in the end. He's going to get the bump onto Zoan right away as well.
Definitely. It is going to be a little bit interesting to see some of these interactions between, you know, the French to Australian, and a little bit with Euro as well. So it's going to be a few interesting interactions we may see throughout the course of this this match. But I have taken it early, top two on lap 1, Sherby.
Yeah, and it looked to me like Kazam actually committed pretty early, but in the end it was Serena that pulled the bill at around 30 seconds. I think they were waiting a little bit on that set to try to get that box at 30.0001. Looks to me like LT tries to get that backspin off. It's a good spot to back, but Zoan is well aware. Nicely done there by LT.
Zoan can be able to escape that one.
That was a missed opportunity there from Zoan to try to pass the TC to Serena. Gets the TC pass off anyway, but that top two is starting to break.
That's just it. And it's a little bit like, yes, it's great to pass the TC, but at the same point, you're committing a little bit too much. And with that top two is going to start to really take a break from the pack. So hitting a stick and finding another TC for Zone. Both baggers going to be missed. Going to look see if you can't find Kenzo again or Snow. I managed to get it to Snow though, and Snow is going to be running for the hills into a star, may I add. So taking away a dodge, Zone getting triple shrooms, and is just going to be able to shroom up here, seeing what he can't find in this first set box here, going into lap 3. So gonna try to make something of this.
That was a bit of a 50-50 decision, because he was kind of stuck in no man's land with that TC, right? I mean, if you run it forward, you could just get into probably an 8th place box at the first set by the time you grow. But that time he was content to just try to pass it off and force the dodge out of Kenzo in the end. But it looks to me like IF are still going to be running away with this pretty clean. I think they're holding blue as well. Looks to me like Snow may be holding on to blue at the moment. Except
definitely.
he's in a Mega.
He goes into a star. It doesn't look like... Well, it looks like we might be seeing a shockless race coming all around here, so it doesn't look like there's going to be too much coming from the shock department, but it looks like IF is going to be able to just keep that top 2, I think. Didn't look like it was shaking up too much, so I think IF is just able to walk away with the winning race this one, unless something happened that we did not see.
Barry has the call on. Awesome sauce. We got to tell him to turn the call off. That's a no-no here at Mario Kart Boards if you're ever going to show your POV. I mean, it'd be nice to look at, though. But unfortunately, if we're going to show his POV, it's kind of distracting.
True. Oh, IF walks away with that top 3, so already getting off to a great start in on the side of Team Infinite. So with that, I'm wondering if we're going to see an early BC week pick coming out from them.
And that would certainly be a good option. I'm not sure if Infinite have any really strong glitch takers, however. That being said, though, the scoreline will be 39-21.
So definitely a very strong early lead coming out, and this is where I'm wondering if we will be seeing that. Looks like Forgotten Legends is opting for the Peach Gardens, so BCW is getting locked in on the side of Team Infinite, so that's definitely what they're going to want to go, and looks like we will be going to Bowser's Castle League.
I'm screaming at Barry right now to turn off his call. So we'll get that situated. In the meantime, it's going to be BC Wii here, and it's going to be a tough task, certainly, for FGT to break up these top spots if IF play this. If they play their cards right, take all 3 boxes, spam maybe not spam their items backwards, but, you know, just try to get that top 3, prevent that top 3 from coming up. Knight does get a box here. I think it's triple reds from what I saw, but ends up backing Zone.
Definitely. So Zone's going to be forced to use one stream to really try and rekindle what he lost. Tries to get a chain, but is going to miss the box, unfortunately, so isn't going to be finding the items. Going to look for one right up here. Gets the box and finds himself a star. Going on to Barry.
Yeah, unfortunately, Barry and LT were, unfortunately for FGT, they were able to keep their top 2 with the triple reds. From Zone, he wasn't able to do any damage with that, and it looks to me like a star being held by Zone here, but I kind of want to keep it on Barry here in this situation. Maybe we can see a backspam. Yeah, he throws a backspam out with Snow behind him, tries to coordinate the backspam. In the end, it does hit Zone way back there, so he's going to fall behind a little bit further.
I'm still 10. No one has right now. Pow coming too. Almost got himself into the wall, but he is fine. He is able to realign himself, so he does get to keep where he is. And IF still sitting in top 2 by the looks of it, with Zone 8th place holding the start, trying to see if Kazam can't get the shock for him.
No glitch takers here from FGT in bottom 2. And as for the bagging battle, I did see Kazam losing out pretty early on. He's trying to chain in 9th there. A little bit of a unfortunate situation there for Snow to pull the TC. Instead, now it's going to be only a top 2 for IF instead of a top 2 for top 3 situation, which was looking very strong for them. And what do you think you should do here if you're Zone, assuming that IF does have the shock?
IF has the shock. You're almost more worth it trying to predict, as we just see Kenzo getting bomb sniped by...
Yeah, but with that top 2 breaking, I mean, they're certainly not going to use it until later unless IF are throwing out some sort of trick here.
At that point, you can chain it, but at this point, like, chaining in, like, 5th, 6th, it's very... You don't know what you're going to get, right? It's very... You could get literally anything. There is a blue coming out, so you might see him use a star trying to predict the cancel. Alex does go into the Mega as well. Does look like there's going to be a shock. Jump stream is coming out, but
top
Alex
4,
getting
easy.
the Mega dog.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah, and here they come.
There's no doubt. I mean, I don't know if they passed Knight or not. Zone's POV lagged a little bit there, but from what I'm seeing, that's a top 4 from Infinite, and that's an absolutely monumental start for them.
We shall see on the results.
Ooh, top 2, 4, 5. Jumped the gun a little bit in the commentary there, but still, I mean, this is what you want if you're IF. You want to get off to a strong start, especially against a team like FGT, who are very momentum-based. if they have the momentum, I mean, they're a very powerful team. But early on, the chinks in the armor, like I mentioned before, are being shown here. And they are going to be going off to a, I believe, it's a little over 30.
Yeah, pretty much that was just kind of what they were looking for. A very strong start coming out for IF, and it's the ball right now is in their court of how they wanna make this rest of the match go. FGT needs to try and pull something in these next few races to really try and soften the blows from those first two races. As IF is already taking a commanding lead. Looking to push that lead a little bit further with a Toad's Factory pick, and it does not land on them, unfortunately. We are going to Peach Gardens, which right now is what FGT are looking for, is a solid reset track to really try and get something going. Try to shake up those spots and try and shake up the deficit that they're already putting themselves under. So let's see if they can make it happen here on Peach Gardens. Zone starting up, not opting to wheelie or anything, looking for a box and sticks, trying to find some shrooms, and is going to find himself a TC, which not exactly what he's looking for. Knight gets the Mega, going to pull himself into first. Going to try and snag at the Barry, but Barry hits him with the back trail, and it looks like he's going to be forced to take this TC, which indeed he is.
And there is the question I had in the beginning. Who's going to commit first here? And usually committing first here is the move. I know some tracks that are 50-50, like Sherbetland, you can maybe wait for the other bagger to go first, and then you could zoom past them with a golden or a star or something, assuming you don't troll. But in this case, it's kind of sketchy to go past the runners with the star, because they are going to be taking that really wide line to go up the hill. And it looks to me like Serena is going to be losing out in the bagging battle, though. I think he did pull the bill in the end, so Kazam has a huge lead up there. And if they pull the shot, they could certainly use it lap 2 and maybe try to snag one at the end.
It's always a little bit scary when you commit early, because from that first set you're hitting up into the chain chomp area, if you get Bill, that's quite a while you have to drive until you even get the chance to lose it. So
true. Yeah, if you're staying in ninth, if you commit second, I mean, you're going to be most likely to overtake the bagger, assuming they either pull Shock or Bill in the first set. I mean, if you pull Shock, you can't really do anything, but if you pulls Bill, you're able to zoom past, and that is the risk that you take if you commit first. You're more than likely going to hit that first box in 10th, assuming you go back at 21 seconds. That being said, though, Barry trying to chain the star, but he is holding on to it. This is a sign.
It's interesting because you saw him completely jerk himself, which could give the indication IF does have Shock right
Serena
here.
does have it. He's running away from Kazam. Kazam was chasing him, but in the end, I think he pulled Billy's off with it. So this is certainly going to be...
We got a mega pull for Zoan here. We could see just a last set chain, trying to see if he can't get himself his own prediction. Miracle goes into the mega as well. Finds himself more triple shrooms. He is going to be looking to go, and looks like they're just going to opt to hold the shot if IF had it, which... I mean, I believe they did.
Actually, what am I saying?
FGT top 4.
I am not on the same wavelength right now. That was huge.
Okay.
I stand corrected. I mean,
I'm gonna need to rewatch that, because I'm just like, wait, what? How did that? You know what? Okay.
In the end, it's going to be a 7-point deficit now with Forgotten Legends. I mean, that's the answer you need. That's certainly the answer you need. They're going to be picking Moonview Highway as well. Interesting, Moonview Highway usually is only picked if you're maybe top 2 in mid spots, or top 2-4. Maybe 4th can get the draft on first if TF has already been picked. But they are going to opt for Moonview. In the end, though, to the detriment of Forgotten Legends, it will come out to be probably the quintessential reset track here. Yeah,
I mean, definitely that's the race that, you know, we were talking about that FGT needed to really bring it back. And you know, now it's back to a single-digit deficit, and it's still anyone's game, like we were saying before. So FGT runs it back, and now we're on Delfino Square. And
I'm interested to see how FGT are going to approach this. They are going to have 3-1 and 1 bag. I do think that's smart if you have, you know, top 4 run. Maybe have one of the runners drop to like a 5th place box or so. But FGT start off really, really aggressively here with top 3 going all past the set.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what they want to play. Like they kind of figured out that, you know, if they can stay at the front, it's gonna be what they want. And I think that's, you know, if they get most of them to to really stay up there, I think they feel pretty
I
confident.
mean, it works out in their favor. Look at this. I think if you're zone here, maybe slag a little bit with that bomb before backing it. In this track, though, I mean, you can catch up. Maybe not right away because that top four is starting to break, but I do think that IF can start to catch up, make it a little bit of a tight pack, and Shock could definitely do wonders there. So we'll see how FGT can hold on to this.
Zone opting to throw the blue, so Zone throws the blue, and it is coming out for LT, so it's going to hit,
Ooh, nice
finds
combo.
himself, and a combo red too coming up for Knight, so that's really going to put LT in the dirt, and he's going to have to find a way to get back up there, chaining that blooper, seeing what he can find. And Buzzwill's going to shoot him, so he's able to take the cut next lap if the room lets him. No shocks or pows.
This is huge here for IF. I mean, you're holding on to the bill here with Serena winning out in the bagging battle. Alex is going to be slowing down just a little bit to try to potentially get a dodge to snag with, I mean, looks to me like Kazam is winning out right now as he's trying to run away from Serena from the looks of it. I don't see him using any goldens or anything, so I do think it's an indicator that he's holding on to the shock. Either that or trying to drop a star for his runners. We are going to see Zoan coming up the rear. Top three all with shrooms. Yeah, I think he's going to be holding on to... I think Kazam is actually trying to drop a star. There comes the
but here
shock.
comes in Bill dodge coming up for Barry too, so that's just a free first for Barry. Barry's just being able to really just Bill dodge up. You know, easy for him, and easy first for IF. And I think that's pretty much... That's kind of the story right there. Is Barry just held Bill, ran it up to fourth, topped and cut with the Bill. Bill does the rest. Shot comes in, and it's all set in stone. No more analysis further needed. Barry just makes it happen. Also with the help of Serena as well, of course, because without shock, that could be pretty deadly for FGT. So IF walking with the 1-4.
Yeah, with that, I mean, FGT are going to bring it down to a 3-point affair. Actually, 4-point, yeah.
Not too bad, and it's quite the comeback coming from FGT too, IF has a super strong 2 races, then FGT answers back with a top 4. That's what you're looking for. 9 times out of 10, if you go down like that, you're able to answer back with a top 4. That's what you're looking for.
2-point deficit for Forgotten Legends. I mean, considering the first 2 races, I mean, with Infinite holding on to those top spots, and in BCW, they didn't get him out right away, so and dodging up the rear too, almost getting top 4. It was a top 2, 4, 5 in the end. But considering those first 2 races were super strong on the side of IF, I mean, it was a good response certainly from Forgotten Legends. And you certainly don't expect the consensus predicted first team in this division to go down that early on. So they're showing what they're capable of, and we'll see what they come out with here.
Definitely a super strong answer back, and now they're going to see if they can't pull ahead coming in the GP2 here. They've done all the dirty work. They catch themselves back up. Now let's see if they can't shift the tides onto their side. But seeing some Maple Tree Way coming out for FGT and Koopa Cape coming on the side of IF. So we'll see what both these teams can try and make up with this pick. And we're headed to Koopa Cape. Or Cap Koopa.
Cap Koopa.
Cap Koopa.
All right, we're going to be looking at Barry here. He is a little bit ahead. We'll see how he's able to deal with Zoan. I think if you're Zoan, maybe try to take the first 2 boxes. We'll see how he approaches this.
Definitely interesting. Gets the single Nana, so he wasn't going to be able to go for the Shroomba, unfortunately, but Knight and Zoan pulling up for top 2 just before we see anybody taking Shroom cuts. Nana snipe opportunity is going to connect to Zoan.
Nice.
So Barry's going to pull ahead a little bit. Snow comes up too. So 2-3 right now for IF with Knight just ahead in first, just by a little bit. But
That was beautifully done there from Barry. There aren't too many spots in which you can snipe someone. Right here could be a decent snipe spot. In the end, though, it looks to me like Knight ends up picking the ground star and Star Snow in the end. I think Snow might have thought that he could have picked that up, but in the end, it didn't share the star as he does fall all the way to, it looks to me like 5th, actually.
Yeah, he's going to find himself going a little bit back. Barry finds a single shroom, and is just going to take the shroom cut with his shroom, trying to cut off any he can from Knight, but Knight is really pulling ahead right now.
And Zone's been holding on to this for a good 30 seconds. He does get backed by Snow with a Nana, so I don't know what the plan is here for Zone.
I'm not entirely sure. They might just be in a little bit of an awkward spot. Maybe someone's holding something really strong.
Yeah.
They're really dedicated in holding it.
I mean, he was initially in 6th with it, so it has to be a sign that FGT are holding on to a blue right now, because Knight is starting to break in first at the moment. You don't want to pal the blue out of anybody, really. And the shot coming in, dodging Alex in the back. Only one dodge from the looks of it.
Oh, but that's all you really need, and that might actually get Alex up there, so it brings it to 1-3 right now for FGT.
Yeah, and not a bad idea to shock lap 2, especially with the idea of dropping stars, right? You know, you shock lap 2 and drop stars for your top 2 just to solidify it, so I don't think that's a bad shock at all. Unless Alex is going to get redded here, maybe? No. Oh,
yeah,
there
it does actually. It does connect with them, so that brings Barry in the second. Really being able to infiltrate that top 2. Just barely getting away from that fib too, so that definitely is strong for Barry not to get hit by that fib, and he's still going to be able to really do something here.
So
Alex right now.
1-4-5.
1-4-5 right now.
No star drop from the top 2.
But Snow is going to red Zoan here, so Snow's going to find himself coming up too.
Oh, and a shock red from... Yeah, it looks to me like Barry did get... not shock red, but he got dropped into his own item, but it's still going to be a top 3 for IF.
Top 3-6, I think, actually.
And that lap 1 snipe too from Barry, I do think that kind of set the tone for the race, because had that not come off, you know, you would have seen FGT in top 2, possibly double backing and you know, making a name for themselves in that top 2. So that snipe essentially put you know, put a stamp on the entire rest of the race.
Definitely, Knight finds himself first after the big breakaway he had. So FGT pulling a 1-4, and that's definitely good damage control, because it felt like IF was felt like they were kind of all over the place in that one, and you know, not making that play early, getting himself that big break in first is just kind of what FGT needed to really play damage control for that race. Sitting 1-4-5, so you can kind of mix it up. You could go really RBC if you were looking for something, you know, for drafting, or you're looking for something where people can catch up early. BC3 is another kind of great option for both teams, because both of them can benefit with how kind of mixed and split the room is right now with the positions. Even Groma Volcano, another great pick for both teams.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that there hasn't been any Moonview Highways being thrown out. TF, I mean, you can go TF with top 3, but if the other team is starting off in 4th, you know, it can be a little difficult to prevent the draft. I mean, not necessarily difficult, but First is going to have to take an odd line. It's really not ideal for First to do so. So in the end, they do pick GV. It comes out with them, and we'll see how they hold on to this.
Definitely. Moonview Highway, I mean, ideally, I would want like a top 2-4, maybe like a top 2-4-8. I think is probably pretty solid for Moonview.
Immediately, that top 3 gets broken up with 2 of IF getting redded there.
Yeah, definitely. And Barry holding these double shrooms right now in 6th place, gonna opt to hold them for this rock hop coming here. So let's see if he can pull it off. Is gonna make the rock hop very cleanly, and it's gonna bring him in the 2nd place, right behind Alex with a single shroom to boot.
Yeah, and what I mean, Serena with no hesitation to hit that box in 9th at 30 seconds, and sometimes we see baggers sitting because. Yeah, for a couple of reasons, right? For one, you can get 1 10th place box if one bagger goes back and takes the strat. But another thing is that a lot of the runners are holding shrooms at that point. So if you do hit a box in 9th, you still have a decent chance to pull the bill, assuming that all the runners are holding on to stars at the same time, because the percentages don't. Actually, there was a shock coming in there, TSing Zone, but as I was saying, the percentages of pulling a star or triple shrooms or something are not altered unless all of the runners are holding on to the items. That due diligence was from Roy. Does fail the pow dodge, Barry does, so we'll see how that shakes up the top spots.
That is going to be a little bit rough because he's going to lose first and a little bit of the break he had because of that pow dodge fail. But IF sitting top 3 right now, so he's not too upset with all of his teammates all around him. But there is a blue coming up for LT, and Barry is going to get willy bumped by Snow, and now the spots are really going to be shaken
if
up.
If Serena can get a second one here, this could be absolutely vital. That is major.
And there's good. Oh, it looks like that the cut taker also got TS'd, and that's a little bit rough. And there's a TC coming out too, and all of Barry's teammates are around him. So
and that's just it, right? I mean, the shock preventing FGT from taking the cut there.
Definitely super lucky for the win. TC not being too bad, being able to really secure that top 3 for IF.
Yeah, Serena not having any hesitation whatsoever to get that box, takes the backward strat cleanly. It was as cool and calm as you like from Serena.
Yeah, and even Alex shakes it up. Alex finds himself the 3rd place, so breaks that top 3. So they're going to sell for top 2-4, but not actually too bad for IF because honestly, you can work. There's a lot more tracks that are better for top 2-4 than top 3 that are available right now, at least in my opinion. I feel like you can really make something work with those spots. You know, you have the spots where if you want to take a TF pick or, you know, RBC is still open as well. So they have tons of options for where they want to go with this. Definitely, IF still pretty much continuing their, you know, they lost a little bit, but they're bringing it back again. So they're really going to be putting more pressure on FGT to try and find another big race here. But MC3 coming out for FGT on the side of FGT, and like I was saying, those top 2-4 spots, prime spots for Toast Factory here for IF, so they're going to be opting to go for the Toast Factory pick, and let's see if it lands on. It does look like we'll be landing on Toast Factory, and it does. So if IF plays this first section correctly, they should be looking pretty. At least for where their spots are going to be worried about. But if FGT can find something early to really shake up these spots, then it could be anyone's race here.
Yeah. Barry takes an odd line to prevent the draft, and it looks to me like it's going to be an early top 3 here, unless there's going to be a bomb snipe of sorts. I mean, I don't think FGT are really in position to do much of anything here if IF come away with this turn unscathed.
Yeah, definitely. And not too bad right now. You're top 3 for IF, and Knight's putting a little bit of pressure, trying to do what he can. The Reds are coming out, but isn't going to find any connection on Barry's side. Finds triple Reds in 3rd, so he can really make some damage happen here. TC coming out too for Knight, and he is really on the chase for Barry right now. Barry trying to slag what he can, and is going to evade that TC from Knight, so that's going to put a little bit of take a little bit of pressure off of the hands of Barry. And IF still sitting in top 3, sitting pretty right now.
You know, I thought Barry for sure was going to slow down maybe since he had the triple Reds and allow him to pass with that TC, but he's confident in his evasion abilities, does evade the TC without losing too much time in the end. So it's going to be a top 3 right now. Blue will be coming in. I saw that being thrown from zone. And Kenzo's taking the shroomless. This could be sketchy. Comes away with it though, just barely.
It is going to have to slow down just a little bit, but isn't too much to where he's going to lose a whole lot. And it does look like IF is still sitting in top 2 with the hands of Barry and Kenzo.
The shock status right now, it looks to me like Serena is running away with it. He has been kind of hot on the, Kazam has been hot on his tail for a while now, but he slows down before the ramp. Could be an indicator that he was trying to maybe wait for his golden to end before chaining to another box. That being said, though, he's still hot on the tail of Serena. Maybe not close enough to get him, assuming he's holding Bill. If he's holding a star, though, maybe he could use it to get him maybe last frame. We'll see what happens. He is right behind Serena, but it's not going to make a difference. The race will end. It's going to be a good race for IF.
It's going to be a great race for IF. And right behind Barry and Kenzo, you saw Snow and LT right there, too. So it makes me believe that maybe they got like a top 2-4-5 or something like that. But definitely, from what you can see, all the racers finished. It's going to be a very strong race coming out on the side for Team Infinite. And when these results pour in, that's when we shall know. And Obviously, the no shock just made it all the easier on the side of IF, not having to worry about that shock. And top 3-6 actually coming out on the side for IF, so super strong race. Definitely what they wanted, and definitely what they're gonna be able to keep going. And honestly, having that 6th place isn't too bad because it does open up some of those tracks where starting in top 3 is great, but having someone back there as well contesting those power items is just, there's so much value in something like that. So they can really make something happen here with those spots.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what FGT could have done better. They didn't get the drafts in the beginning, and it was a testament to Barry swerving there and overall making it difficult to pick up the draft. But in the end, I mean, IF just ran forward, didn't go for Bill. They had top 3 run, and at that point, I think if you're FGT, you kind of want to slow down for Bill just in case. But I don't think that they went for it either, and in the end, it was just a clean run there for IF. And also in the Indiv department, Miracle not doing so well at the moment. He is on, I think, 27.
My boys, unfortunately, letting me down for this one. I put all my chickens, you know, in the wrong barn, I guess, but it's okay. It happens to the best of us. It's not like I'm betting the money, so I won't be taking anything to the bank losing this one. Either way, though, definitely a strong performance coming up from Barry, though.
Yeah, for sure. Aside from that one pad dodge, GV it happens. But other than that, he's been performing pretty well. Can't say too much badly about him at the moment. We'll see. Does kind of take the jack a little bit poorly there, so it's going to allow FGT to get into the 3-4 positions.
Definitely, and sets him back to 5th, but not exactly the worst spot you want to be in because, you know, everything is a little bit mishmashed right now. There is a Bill coming up too from Snow. Barry having this interesting fib blooper combo coming. It's going to find a back spam, and this Bill is taking Snow all the way in the first, right in front of Zone. But Zone gets a single shroom in the second here, so he's going to be able to take the cut without having to submit any loss of speed, and is going to get a little bit ahead of Snow by the looks of it.
Barry's able to get up to those top spots as well. It's going to be a 2-3-4-5 for IF. I'm actually really curious. Even though Zone's a little bit behind, I'm going to keep it at Zone right now to see how he's able to fend him off.
Excellent. And Zone going to do all he can. He does have a little bit of comfort space between him and the rest of the IF. There's a blue coming in, and Zone is going to eat the blue, and here comes all of IF.
Here they come.
And here they all come. Top 3 coming out for IF. Zoan finds himself a Mega, though, and if FGT does have a shock here, they can really do some damage with this. IF is going to really have to send that 3rd place to try and get into the cannon with the rest of them if IF doesn't have shock.
Yeah, and I think the bagging is 50-50 right now, but it looks to me like FGT does pull it. After falling off with Bill at first, they were able to scrape a box there. I think that was just pulled. So it looks to me like they are going to be coming up the rear here, with Zoan getting all the way up to first with a bomb. But
there is a blue coming out, though.
Yeah.
Bear is having a TC right here. Kenzo is around him, tries to find the pass to Zoan, but isn't going to find them. Is going to get TC'd, but is going to be able to readjust his line quickly to not get smacked off the track.
And that was a missed opportunity there from Barry too. I think he tried to slow down a little bit to get the TC pass off, but in the end, Zone just kind of sped ahead. Zone does get that red off as well. Barry in 5th. It's really mixed spots going into this. Not really mixed actually. It's FGT occupying most of them.
Looked like FGT had a good chunk of those top spots, and FGT finding a pretty solid race with the Zone doing everything he can to really get back that first, finds that nice right on the Kenzo, and is able to seal the deal to lead his team into that winning race.
And that drop start too got Knight all the way up to. I mean, he was already in 3rd with that, but it pretty much helped FGT solidify those spots. That was a key ground start coming out of that leaf pile in this Wiggler section here.
Yeah, and FGT top 3, a very strong race coming from FGT. With the, like I was saying again, the top 3 sevens. So having that like 7th place, sure, it's not as great of a race as you'd like it to be, but you know, considering that was the end of the GP. But like if you were in like a 1, 2, 3 race, you know, you can do a lot with those spots. But they're gonna end that GP off, and still pretty. I don't think it's
fairly close.
Fairly close, I think.
Yeah, 20-point lead here for IF.
Still close. Still, honestly, playing into my prediction where it was going to be a low 20 deficit, and I don't think that it's going to change too much with this GP, but it is still very much anyone's game.
Absolutely. I mean, you got two teams that are 3-1 in the division. They're fighting for a top 2, top 3 spot. That being said, it's still fairly early on into the season. It is only week 5 in the round robin group stage, but I mean, these two teams are very evenly matched, and whoever gets a win against each other will certainly have the confidence to be able to tackle the second half of the season.
Definitely. And definitely a good showing for FGT, because every time the IF puts them down with a solid race, they come bouncing back. So, no, FGT is really showing all the fight they have, and I still think there's some left in the tank too. They're going to really try and swing this back in their direction in this last GP, and let's see if they can get it done here. With DDR locked in on the side of FGT, and DDR is going to get locked in going into DDR for race 9. And let's see if this is the track that FGT is looking for to really try and bounce them back into this match. Yeah.
In terms of the bagging battle, Kazam's been struggling a little bit. He's not playing too poorly, but there are a couple of tracks of note. For example, in Maple Treeway, we saw Serena. Actually, I just looked back at the POV because, you know, it can be kind of hard to look at the bagging POV. That being said, Barry does fail the sand hop. Very crucial, though, as he wasn't able to get the insta-drift off either. He kind of got stuck in limbo there, allowing Zone to get up. But anyway, Serena is slightly out-bagging Kazam right now in the tracks that are strat-heavy, like MT, for example. Wasn't able to get the shock, though, in the end. But that being said, though, Zone's going to be running away. Both of them make the sand hop. Nice backspin on Barry.
Yeah, he gets Barry with that nice little tight backspin there, so that's going to put Barry all the way back in the 8th place. And maybe not too bad, because it is going to free up some item spots for him to try and get like a golden or something to take that ultra cut here. Barry gets a star, but is going to opt to hold it just in case his bagger can get the shock for him. And not a bad idea, you know, hold it, because you're not really in any desperation to...
0 for 2, though, if you're Barry. Yeah, he's going to be falling behind a little bit here. Not too bad because he has a star, but it would have been nice for Barry to be at least close to the pack with this, so that if he does dodge lap 2, for example, he's going to be able to chain into a decent item, assuming it's not going to be a blooper or something like that, and get all the way up to first. But now if he does dodge and he does take the ultra, maybe not going to get all the way up to Zone unless Zone fails.
Definitely. He's going to chain the star here. So let's... Oh, but he does get another star, so he's not actually looking too bad in the bad spot here. But he does have this other star.
Ooh,
so
this could be a sign. This could be a sign right now for IF. I thought for sure he was going to take that star ultra, but this could be a sign that they may have the shock here. Actually, no. Nothing comes out of it.
Nothing comes out. LT gets bombed. Barry star is just about to run out. Alex does get hit. There's a little bit of a mix-up here, but FG running with... Kenzo.
It looks to me like Snow is in first at the moment, but Snow fails, and he's all the way in the wall, guys. That is not what you want if you're Snow. I mean, there was a blue coming out earlier that I failed to mention, but that is a crucial fail there if you're Snow.
Definitely, and FGT right now is top 2, I believe, with Knight behind Zoan, so if they can get this top 2, which I do believe they do, they are going to be able to edge a little bit closer to IF's lead.
And I'm a little surprised that Barry didn't go for that Star Ultra too, because I thought him going around it was a sign, but he wanted to chain into another box, to be fair. So I don't think it's a terrible idea, but I was a little bit surprised that he didn't take the Star Ultra. You know, you still could take the Star Ultra and chain into a box in 6th or 5th, but he opted to go for the safe chain, pulled another star, was able to get all the way up to 4th, but in the end, it was a fairly even race.
It looks like Kenzo actually manages to find his way in a second, so splits that top 2 into a 1-3 for Zoan and Knight, and they are going to crawl out with a winning race, I believe, but not by as large of a margin as they would have hoped for.
Yeah, it was only a +3 there for FGT.
Yeah. So, I mean, not bad. They're still crawling their way with a -17 going into IF right now, but if they can keep... if they can try and keep the space, trying to find something a little bit better, they should have no problem being able to to really get into the winning zone for FGT. But it's all up to IF too. If they can get one big race, they can really put a nail in this coffin.
What would you do here, though, if you're FGT? You're only occupying 1-3, a couple of bottom spots, or, like, 1-3, 6-7, I believe it was. They are going to opt to go for DKM, only occupying 1-3, and one of the mid spots.
DKM's a little bit interesting. I'm not entirely... Like, DKM is one of those awkward tracks, right? It's like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's... The first lap kind of will solidify the spots going into laps 2 and 3 without the use of, like, obviously shocks before that.
Let's take a look at Zone, because he wasn't able to keep his first there. I mean, you are starting off in a bit of an awkward line there, so Kenzo is able to overtake in the... Actually, no. On Barry's POV, it looked like Kenzo was ahead, but I guess there was a little bit of lag. Looks like Barry gets a red off onto... I didn't catch the name, actually, but it's going to be a 1-3 here for IF. Kenzo slightly clipping the wall there, allowing Zoan to get up to first.
Definitely. And then Barry has to use his stream. I would have waited just a second just to get rid of that blooper effect. But obviously, not gonna really cause too much havoc for him. It's gonna get this POW here, and he can really do some damage here. Or if he just opts to burn it here at this next set, is completely up to him. But the thing with the POWs here is POWs can really be deadly on a track like this, coming up to that the cut next lap, and just really create some havoc here. But
just wanted to switch to Zone a little bit because I found it interesting that he was slagging with that fib. Doesn't get Barry because Barry is from a different dimension, but it's good. I mean, that's a good play there from Zone, at least to try to slow him down. Doesn't actually slow him down, but it was good intention. We got 2, 3, 4 coming in for FGT here, but this POW is going to be absolutely deadly.
That's just that this POW is going to be really able to shake up FGT. Triple stream is coming out of the zone, and also going to, give him a super bad target POW here with Alex ITA.
Yeah, they were actually top 4 going into that section too, with Alex holding it down in first. Only one person in the end gets target POW'd from that. It was Miracle, who did drop shrooms. But in the end, FGT are going to hold on to this. Barry slowing down. He does slow down successfully. That was a successful slow, but in the end does allow Zoan to get up to second.
Bill also used by LT, so the Bill is free for the baggers to use it there if they can get it. But Zoan's still having these triple reds in second. And does slip on a banana, though, and that's going to be Barry's gateway to really try and get around him and infiltrate this top 2. Shot coming in, though, is going to get Barry just before step, but there's a red coming out, too, and someone is dodging a star. Does believe that is Knight, and Miracle is coming up, too, for a top 3 for FGT.
I wonder whose shot that was, because it did TS Zone. It might have been a slightly mistimed shot coming in from FGT there, if it was. We did see Miracle coming up in a star there. I think he got a star chain into a star in the end, so not too bad there if you're Miracle.
Not too bad for FGT as a whole, running that top 3. Yeah, obviously, probably wasn't a shock that Zoan wanted, but seeing the team take top 3, that's really gonna pretty much put it, even strength for both teams with the last 2 races to go. So, not a trade that I would be upset with taking. He still gets 7th, so he does get the extra point ahead of Kenzo.
That's absolutely monumental. I mean, it was a sacrifice that FGT had to make there with Zone getting TS right behind Barry, but at that point, you have a couple people dodge outside of the cut and, solidify that top 3. That was much necessary there for Forgotten Legends. And with that, it was a plus 21 race. They're going to take the lead by 4.
Definitely, and FGT finally finding the lead that they've been grinding for. And then let's see if they can hold it for these last 2 races. Interesting what they're gonna look to go for the top 3-7 spots for FGT.
I'd say BCB's already picked, so I think at this point maybe Moonview wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Although having the opposition starting off in 4th may not be the best idea. You could take an odd line if you're in 1st, but then 4th could just predict that and just go straight ahead. So Moonview will be a little bit of a shaky pick nonetheless for 1st at the very least. But they do pick it in the end.
Like I was saying before, though, not too bad, though, having that Zoan in 7th place, being able to try and get like a golden to get himself up there really quickly. Having one person being able to contest those power items and Moonview is super valuable. So let's see if they can get it done here. If FGT can't hold this to do what they can. Is going to deny Barry from box. Barry going to have to go up top to get his box of his own. Finds triple shrooms,
Yes,
and is going to be on the way.
The classic Lee-up strat. Is he going to be able to break first here? He will, assuming he takes a good line. Yes, he does.
He's going to be a little bit careful with these bomb cars. There is quite a bit of bump. Did drop the fib, but is going to find himself in first, and isn't going to really have to do too much other than that at this point. He's sitting pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is, you know, play his game, watch for, you know, any items getting thrown up, and
Oh, that exactly the point that you made there.
That's it.
And he gets redded right after we switched. I just wanted to show that snipe. That was absolutely gorgeous there from Zone.
Good snipe from Zone, and also the combo red too. Kenzo streaming up though is going to relieve Barry from his duties, and is going to try and hold the fort of his own until he can find more teammates to come up with.
Yeah, Zone did get bomb card earlier though, so it does, you know, kind of nullify the damage that they were having. They were top 2 going into it, but Kenzo was able to shroom up all the way, so it's going to be a 1-4 for IF here.
Definitely, and Barry's going to need to be a little bit careful with these triple greens because they can really cause havoc here. Alex can be absolutely...
Oh, deja vu! Deja vu for Barry.
Yeah, same place at the same time, baby. 7th place, finds himself a star. So he can really do some damage, but they're gonna have to act quick about this if they do have it and want to get something out of the shot.
There it is.
Here the shot coming in does chain himself.
Top 2, yeah, top 2.
Triple Red's coming out too is gonna be able to protect himself for the meantime.
Top 3.
And top 3 LT coming up as well. So top 3 right now for IF, and this is where they're gonna make their statement, come back, and everything that you worked for is now going to be gone.
Oh, Zone!
He's going to eat the bomb for kicking Knight with him too.
That's crucial. I mean, now it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna have Snow coming up the rear. Doesn't actually get up the rear as much as I thought, but instead it's gonna be top 3-7. I thought for sure Snow would have gotten probably 5th or something, but he might have gotten a bad chain or didn't get an item at all.
Yeah, he had a TC, so I think he had to.
Yeah.
I think he had to pass the TC just so he wouldn't get TC'd in the line, and didn't really have anything else other than that. So, but still finding the extra point in 7th, not too awful. You know, IF running with a top 3 again, just pretty much canceling out the last race from FGT. So FGT is gonna need a big race here if they want to walk away with this win going into the last race.
And I do think maybe it wasn't a crucial part of the race necessarily, because we did see FGT kind of turn the tables in lap 2 before IF solidified the good race of the shock. But in the beginning, we saw Miracle getting Willy bumped by Barry as he was goldening, which kind of had a domino effect, and Zone ended up bumping into Miracle, who got bumped himself. So didn't really matter in the end, as we saw a pretty nice snipe there coming out from Zone in the end, but that shock was absolutely vital.
Definitely, the shock really coming out, making the difference, and you know, having 2 dodge ups there from the side of Barry and LT, being able to shake up and go right into that top 3, really just a huge race coming for IF, and they're looking to end it off here going into the last race. See if they can't walk away with this, or if FGT is gonna have one last trick in their pocket. And we'll see if they can do it on Waluigi Stadium.
327 to 344 is the scoreline that we've got going into race 12. And I mean, it's been a seesaw affair, really. Just when we think that the momentum has shifted, the other team has responded, and in quick fashion. So we'll see what happens here. Switching off to Barry, we did see him take a pretty clean not turn skip per se, but the U-turn there ahead of Miracle, who did partially fail. So it's going to be a 1-3 now that Kazam trims up. It's going to be an all-run, I think. Yeah. Interesting. All running in Waluigi Stadium, which is very TS heavy. I mean, it's a speculative play, but we'll see how it works out.
Definitely. I'm definitely interested to see if this is the play that could be it, or this could very much just, you know, be the thing that really just destroys them by giving him that shock, but there is someone actually back there, so maybe they might have swapped baggers for the last race.
Yes, okay. So in the end, we saw a couple of megas coming out early from FGT. We saw one being used there, but unfortunately, whoever that was does fall behind, and Zone does get TC'd. So not as powerful of a lap 2 as I thought FGT would have had. And
Definitely.
Barry is just going to kind of slag with this a little bit.
Barry hitting those turn skips, so really being able to pull himself ahead of Kazam. But Kazam is still hot on Barry's tail, so Barry is going to have to be a little bit careful, trying to get a backspin off him, but is not going to connect. And still keeping this first, so he's doing what he needs to do, but he's going to have to be a little bit careful, though, because Kazam is hot and ready, but he's going to find a little bit of a break on Kazam and the rest. But shock coming in, there's a dodge coming up, in looks like 3rd place.
I want to see who that came from. Yeah, IF. Easy.
Yeah, okay, that's Snow and LT dodging up, so...
There's no way out of this, and that is going to spell game over for Forgotten Legends. Your Week 5 winner for this cast is going to be Infinite. They will go up to 4-1, and now Forgotten Legends, the consensus first team being predicted, now suffering a two-loss streak. Now they are 3-2.
Yeah, definitely, and definitely a rough break if you're FGT. Fighting through the entire war where you were pretty much playing down up until the last race, trying to do what you can to bring the win back, and just coming up a little bit short. IF having a very strong showing all across the board. Barry playing completely. Barry played well. Pretty much all across the board. Sure, there was a little bit of blips here and there, but he was pretty much the runner that they really needed, and he had great support from the rest of his team. So it's no shocker that IF gets it done.
And I gotta say that one of the keys to victory for IF was most certainly Serena. I will say, can't confirm that the Moonview shock was a 9er, however, so that was kind of a way for them to tip the scales a little bit. But other than that, Serena played very well, hit his marks in the bagging for the most part. MT went back flawlessly without missing a beat. In the end, it was Kazam who got that shock, but that was just an example of a race that he ended up shining in. Also, I would like to point out BC Wee in the end. I believe that was him winning out by quite a bit in that one as well. So, props to Serena showing his experience and showing that he is a top bagger in the game.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, is that I did give Serena the edge, and I felt like Serena just kind of ran away with it. The shocks kind of got out of control, and IF was able to do what they needed to do. And as much as it is to say that Barry got the MVP, I feel like Serena played a massive part in what Barry was able to do.
Yeah, and also as for the MVP prediction, I think you got the worst end of that. Miracle in the end got 59, and it got to a point where he ended up bagging last race due to the, just to try to change it up a little bit, because it wasn't working out for them with Miracle running, so he tried to bag that last race, and Kazam did a fairly good job in the running department there, but it was too little, too late for FGT. We do see Barry MVPing with 127, and then LT with 102, Knight with 100, Alex ITA with 98, Kenzo 86, Snow 66, and Miracle 59. So overall, pretty strong showing from IF, specifically from Barry and LT, and those are the two players that I had as the players to watch for IF. So even though I did get the MVP prediction wrong, I'm glad to see that those two players showed out.
Yeah, definitely, and it was definitely a great showing from both teams. Definitely a great job for IF for being able to close it out. So definitely there's not really much else to say. It is what it is, right?
Certainly, and we'll see how that kind of shakes up the division a little bit. If we take a look at the division really quick before we leave here, to see how that's going to shake up the div. Forgotten Legends will still have 10 points. They weren't able to get the bonus point in the end. And that kind of goes into the speculative nature of they didn't go all run, but they did switch baggers. In the end, didn't work out for them. finished with 10 points. And as for the other match, LV versus, I think, AP2, was it not? It was LV that ended up winning that one by a good, comfortable 60 points. So that is going to bring Lethal Vengeance up to 7 points. And I did say in the after the first cast that they looked very impressive, but kind of had a 3-loss streak. So nice to see that they come out with a win there.
Yeah, definitely, and good showing all around. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Good games to both teams, and it was a pleasure to watch and cast.
It was a pleasure to be casting with you once again, Zexous.
Oh, for sure. We all do what we can.
That being said, though, yeah.
I guess that's all we have for you guys for now. So, once again, thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your day, everyone. And my name's Zexous.
My name is Jaggy.
We are out. Have a good one, guys.